everybody, welcome into another edition of Make Every Second Count Live. With me, your award-winning international Make Every Second Count speaker, Jeff Marconette Jr. Now, I was involved in 2.5 months of a coma after 3.5 while 3.5 in the hospital after a car wreck. So if you pay attention to the things that I am trying to show you, you will live a better life. You will live a more fulfilled life. You will live a more grateful life. So check this out. Tonight, I have a superstar from Perth, Australia on here. And if I don't butcher her name, it is Mireille Toulekima. So I will let her introduce herself better, but I think I nailed that. All right.
Yeah, you nailed that, definitely. So good. That's a good start. Very good start. So thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you coming in and sharing with my audience and myself.
Yeah.
Now, tonight is going to be a little different. So if you would like to go through your introduction after I nailed your name, I would love that.
So, like Jeff said, my name is Mireille Toulekima, and I'm based in Perth, Australia. And so I've been in Perth now for quite some time. So live here originally from West Africa and from French speaking country of Gabon. So very happy to be here. Actually I'm a multi, I would say I'm a citizen of the world because I've worked globally most of my life. And my background is actually in engineering, and I'm an engineer, and I've worked more than 25 years in engineering in the resource sector. But 5 years ago, I decided to, because I was in corporate, decided to become an engineer full time, and at the same time decided to do something different, think differently, and so I wrote few books in the process. I'm a free time author, and I also started to put more energy on leadership and management and coaching as well. Primary focus was on women, but now I've opened up to every single individual, and my mission and my purpose is to really make sure that people understand that they are unlimited, and that they are the only one putting limit on themselves. And the motto that I really work with is that you should not leave anything on the table of life. You have this potential, you have this greatness, you have to unleash it. The world need it, and every single one of us have something to give. And that's really the mission that I've given myself. Make sure every single person that I get in contact with understand that. So that's me.
That is awesome. Now, on Sunday, well, which is like Monday to you, I had a live virtual event with like 8 motivational speakers, and I actually talked about the coma of everyday life, the coma of average. And I said that people are stuck in a coma. They're trying just to be average all the time, and they need to understand that they were born to be more than average. They were born to be phenomenal. They were born to do so much more than they're doing right now. And I think it's so important that people realize that, because they only get one life. So I know that we are going to be going through a leadership system that you have for us tonight. Is that correct?
That's correct. And, through the process, because I myself come from a very humble beginning, but I've been able to accomplish so much. I mean, things that I didn't actually realize that I would be able to do. And, I'm here in Australia. I started my journey in West Africa in a very, average family, and not having everything, always, but through learning, through believing in myself, and through following this system that I didn't know actually at that time that I was following, I managed to, to step up and to go to the next level of my greatness. And that's why I really, started to think about how, I managed to go from where I started to now. And I just realized, oh, I went through an interesting process. And let me just, summarize that and then use that and share it with the world. Because if I could actually go through this process and be where I am, somebody else can do the same. But then for this somebody else, it's easier because I can give them, the process and the leadership system to follow from day one. And this leadership system is called D.A.R.E, so D-A-R-E. And the D.A.R.E stands for, the D stands for decide. And decide, why decide? Because most of the time, everything that we start with us taking a decision. So we have to decide, like you said, to get stuck in mediocrity, or we decide that we want to go for greatness. We decide that we want to be unlimited. We decide that we're going to keep trying until we succeed what we want to do. So the decision process is very important because it set the tone. That's the starting point. When you've decided that's where you want to go, you've done already the first part, for you to go and become exceptional. So that's the
All right.
decide. But then when
Okay.
you've decided, go
Just one
ahead.
second. I
Mm-hmm.
I need to say hi to Robert Lyons, Greg Dillon, Jean Cajano, and Patricia Satterfield. And if you guys could please put in the comments that, well, she did it, Jean did it, but you guys can put number one, decide. And if you're ready for number two, then you make sure you put number two out there, and she will
Mm-hmm.
let you know what A means in 1 minute.
Mm-hmm. So yes, you have to decide which way you want to give to your life. And number two is one thing to decide, is one thing to have all the plans and everything, but you have to act. And if you don't act, your decision doesn't have any life. So you have to act, you have to put all the efforts, you have to go for the learning, you have to really go out there and put all your energy to go where you want to go. Because if you don't act, nothing is happening, and you're just gonna be back to square one and to this paralysis that Jeff was talking about at the beginning, which is the mediocrity and stay where you are. So you have to act and go to the next level. And as a result of the action, there's a result. So it's either people might call it a failure, or it's either a success. But failure is it's one step. It's not the final step. So if you have a failure, then you need to go back to the drawing board. It means that your decision is not optimal, so you need to take another decision. That's the review part. The R is the review part. You review the what your action has given, and if it's good, then you process to the next level. But if it's not good, you basically have to go back to the decision, to the action, and then review again. So the next and the last phase of this process is the expand. So yes, you've done all of this. Yes, you happy, but you have to think about the next level. What do you need to do to go to the next level? Because it never stops. It never stops. It's a continuous learning. You can't tell yourself, okay, I'm happy with this decision, the result that they've given me. Now I'm going to sit back and then, and do nothing. You always have to be in movement, and you always have to go to the next level, expand. If you are in a certain environment where you can't grow anymore, you have to change this environment and go in an environment where you can grow. If you're surrounded by people who are actually not, supporting you, you have to cut this link and go and find the people who are going to support you to go to the next level. And that's the D.A.R.E system. And as you can see, it's a circular system. It never stops. It never stops. It's not something linear and you stop. You go and you come back, because we always making decisions all the time in our life, key decision. And those decisions drive the process in our life to go to as far as we can and hopefully reach self-actualization.
Yes. I happen to like this a lot. Now,
Mm-hmm.
on this show, we try to give people ideas of how they can use the strategies that we had. So,
Mm-hmm.
do you have an example, and you could possibly put it in an example of your own life, but
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
use the D.A.R.E system.
Yeah. So the first time that I realized that I was using the DARE system was actually 6 years ago, when professionally I was stuck. I was, I didn't really know, what was next for me. I was just, I was in this industry, making good money and really not having any problem, but just realizing that I was not pushing myself at all. So I decided to go through this process without knowing. I said, okay, what is at the end my purpose, and what decision do I need to take to be happy, and go to, to the next level, and understand, go to a place where I say, okay, now I'm happy. Now, I feel energized. And so that was the decision process that I took. Said, okay, I want to go now in another path. I want to start writing. I want to really put my leadership out there and put myself out there. So I really, went out, started to write. I wrote, 3 books consecutively, 1 year after another. I started to go out and speak about my story, speak about what I'm writing about, speak about greatness, speak about being unlimited. And I also put together a venture that's actually going to start doing that, and started to also look at the next generation. How can I use my story? How can I use my knowledge to help them to become the best that they can be? And I did that. So I put the decision, started to act. The action was started to speak, started to put in place the right organization, the right venture, reaching out to the people that would actually help me to put those processes in place. And went through the review all the time to see, okay, am I really giving anything valuable to people? And this review told me, no, it's not enough. So I went the next step, which is the show now, and which is now, looking out for, still looking out for people globally in markets where have no presence at all. And thanks to, the pandemic, I've been able to reach out to a lot of people, for example, in the US, in this market, and I'm expanding as well more in that part of the world, in India, and getting big markets. So still going through this process. I've done the decision part. I'm doing the act, but I'm, always in the review process. And then when I'm satisfied, I just put another challenge for myself to be able to continue to grow, to continue to have an impact but also bringing people with me to understand that that's the process to go through if we want to become the best version of ourselves.
That is something that I've tried to do. Review. Reviewing is a big part of everything we do. And without the review, it's hard to grow. It's hard to keep expanding, as you say. So when I think of review, I for myself, I need to add more value to the world. I need the world to see that I am an expert. I can truly help them. And that is something that review has really helped me with. And I hope to expand that soon. So, how exactly did you expand? I mean, what is that when you started going out to other markets?
Yeah, so that's the expansion part, and also the expansion part started for me before because I was an engineer, so I was looking at things from very black and white, and because I mean it's numbers. I mean when you have a number, that's it. It's not something different. So I have to challenge myself on how I function, and really start to look at, yes, you can have a situation, but there's a different way to enter to look at it. And that's my expansion, because and then it helps me to go out. I was not actually somebody who really was speaking out. I'm a very shy person, normally.
That
And so I really had to go out, to go, and talk to people, talk to a large number of people, and really start to be. I was really uncomfortable to do that, to really speak, to really, start to coach people and things like that. But I said, I took the decision that I'm going to go to the next level. And the review is telling me that to go to the next level, that's what I have to do. To expand, that's what I have to do. So I'm going to do it until I get it right, and until I get comfortable again, and then find another situation, or take another decision to get uncomfortable again, because I only grow when I get uncomfortable.
yes, that is awesome. Now, I have to say that I think part of your expand is in the review, and that's interesting to me. And I want to say that Jean here is commenting a lot, and she says expanding can be difficult for many because of being afraid to talk to others. Now, do you have any tips for anybody that is going through a hard time expanding? Say they've gone through the decision, they've gone through the act, they've gone through oh, the review, and then they're having trouble expanding. Do you have any suggestions on how to do that?
I think and Jean is right. The expansion part is difficult because uh, you have a certain view of things, and I think when and it's hard to challenge that, because most of the time we go and we go negatively when we're stuck. We really get frustrated, and we're not in a solution solving process. So that's cut the whole expansion thing. And one of the things that I did for the expansion is, when I got stuck, or when I was not happy with I tried to reach out to people who actually done what I wanted to do, and people that I knew could actually help me. And I also try to look at role models. Where are the people that actually done it, and understand how they felt, maybe they felt stuck like me, but look at them now. They went through it. So really find those role models and find those mentors or coaches that actually going to help you go to the next stage as well. Because I think the expansion, most of the time you can't do it on your own. You have to rely on a system a support system. And this support system can be, maybe you don't have the knowledge, so you have a gap. So maybe go and get the knowledge, either educate yourself in a certain area, I don't know what it is, or look at, people who actually have been able, who are, role models in the area where you want to go, or who've done what you're going to do, and then reach out to them so that you can have this coaching or this mentoring as well. And that's, I think that are two key things that have been really powerful for me. It's like, okay, I'm stuck, I don't understand that. Okay, let's find, what are the gaps, and where can I find people, or where can I find the knowledge or anything where I can, close this gap and go now and expand, because on my own, I can't do that.
That is awesome. And Jean says that with she's having a difficult time expanding, and that she's going through that currently. And I know that a lot of people are going through a hard time lately, and that's why I love having this show, because I love showing other people how they can do things a little differently and possibly get that leg up, or possibly pull themselves out of depression, get themselves up, as my event is called Get Up and Be the Change. But it's all about helping people get up. So I think that is awesome. And Jean says thank
And
you
you're right,
for this.
because what we do. And you're right. I mean, a show like that, and I also have a show where we bring people that are not, that people don't think about. And when we see their energy, when we see the struggle that they went through, and at the end, they've been able to expand themselves, it gives us confidence, because
Yeah.
we can tell ourselves, if this person have been able to do that, and this person is like me, then I can do it. And then it gives you the confidence to really look for this expansion and look for the right processes, the right system, and the right support to expand yourself. And the period that we are in right now, yes, it's challenging, but I think what it does, it forces us to go into the review stage, because things are different. It's been sudden, and we're going through a lot of challenges. So we have to start to review. We've made certain decisions that brought us where we are. So we are forced, with this pandemic and the economy not working and things like that, to review and really get to know what are our needs, and who do we need to reach out to expand, and what do we need to do to expand. So it's a forced review that we are going through, and I think we should take it really positively, because that's something maybe we would have never done, because we would have just stayed comfortable where we were, because nothing was stretching us, and not and really take this opportunity of where we are right now as humanity, to expand and to really look for this expansion and focus on this expansion, to avoid being depressed, because that I'm growing. Yes, it's uncomfortable. I'm growing. It's going to pass. I'm going to go to the next level and get comfortable again, until the next disruption is going to come my way, and I'm going to have to do another review to expand again.
That is great. Now I've heard you talking numerous times about a show, but you never have actually told us what that show is. Can you
Ah,
give a little hint into what the show is and tell us when it's on so we can tune in?
yes. So the show is called the Greatness Engineering Hour, and it's actually, in line with my mission of making sure that people understand that they're not limited. They're gonna get uncomfortable in their life, but they're not limited. And if they really want to go to become the best version of themselves, they can do it. And they have to do it because humanity need their greatness. And what I do, as part of the show, just like I bring people who've been able to have stories of triumphs and people who actually have a particular knowledge that they can share with the audience. And it's more like an inspiration for the audience to understand that they can do it. If I can bring common people on my show who've been able to do extraordinary thing, why not you? You
Yeah,
can do it. And
yeah,
if you can't, those people are available for you to guide you. So that's really the objective of the show, and it's going well. I mean, like I said, when I started it, a year ago, I had this vision, I had all of this, but I was not actually a media person. Like I said, I was really, just starting to go out and speak and things like that. And I have no idea how to run a show, but I said, okay, that's my mission. I'm going to expand myself, but at the same time, while expanding, I want to help others to follow the same process and become the best version of themselves. So that's what the show is all about.
yes. Actually, when I started this show, it was like 3 years ago. And
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea what I was doing. It was
Mm-hmm.
all just throw
Yeah.
it up in the air and hopefully something stuck. And
Mm-hmm.
obviously it has, because I'm still here 3 years later, and that's pretty awesome. But
Mm-hmm.
you said before that you wrote books, a number of
Mm-hmm.
books during a
Mm-hmm.
very short period of time.
Mm-hmm.
How can people get a hold of those books, and what are they called?
Mhm. So I have, there's two books which are more related to the oil and gas industry, where that's where my primary skills is. So one is called the oil and gas project management for emerging markets. So that's the first one that I wrote. And I wrote this book actually as a result of I was working in South Africa, and I went to what they call a success conference, and I heard back then Raymond Aaron talking about what the book has done for him, and I
Yes.
said, yes, I have all this knowledge, and it's gonna make a difference. And I was stuck where I was, and believe me or not, when I wrote this book, my career as well in this industry went to the next level. Suddenly I became the expert. Suddenly everybody wanted to talk to me, so just because I've managed to put all my knowledge into that book. So that was the first book. And then I wrote the Step into Your Greatness, 12 Rules for Building an Outstanding Life. And it was my first, it's my first actually self-development book. And as a result of this book, I think that's how I started to put things together to help people to go to the next level of their greatness, uh, put in place the D.A.R.E system, package the whole thing, and
Yeah.
then also started the show, which is, so it started from this book in 2016 that I wrote. And the last one is also, again, in something for the oil and gas industry, is natural gas strategies, the impact of developing an emerging market, which is more again, very specific to my industry. So those books can be found on Amazon, and for those who really want a signed copy or anything, then they can reach out to me on either by email. They can write to me at mtoulekima@gmail.com. That's my email, personal email, or I'm everywhere on all the platforms. So Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. So you can't miss my name. It's unique. So yeah, Mireille Toulekima. And then
don't butcher it.
Yeah. So yeah, a good expansion for me, and uncomfortable before, but then managed to pull out all of this and writing some more books as well. I'm writing right now. So yeah, so 2 books should come out either by the end of this year or beginning of 2021. So really enjoying the process, being challenged, and I really like those challenges. No, not a
That is
problem.
pretty darn amazing. Now, if you could please give out your email address one more time, because I put your name back up here, so people will know how to spell your last name. But
Okay.
you should go over that email address one more time.
So my email address, so it's so that's the first letter of my first name, so Mireille, so M, and then my full last name, which is Toulekima, so in one word, M Toulekima, and at gmail.com.
That is great, and I definitely want to take a second here and tell you thank you so much. I know you had to get up really early to do this show, and you had no hesitation in doing that. You wanted to add value to people in my audience and in my circle, and I have to say that is freaking amazing. And
Thank you so much.
thank you, Michael, for putting that in the comments. I appreciate that. And I want to say to everybody out there that you were not designed to be average. You were not designed to live a mediocre life. You were not designed just to be okay. You were not even designed to be good. You were designed to be great. So you have to make every second count. Why? Because you never know when those seconds are going to come or are going to run out on your one life. Now remember, you can use the D.A.R.E system as she has taught us here, and that stands for one last time. Can you go through the 4 letters?
Okay, so the D.A.R.E system, so the first letter is D, so decide. You have to decide. And then the second letter is act, so action after your decision. The third letter is review, so review the result of your actions. And then the fourth letter is expand. So because like Jeff was saying, we are expansion being. We're not designed to be, mediocre, just okay. If you're okay right now, you know that you have to expand and get to the next level of your greatness. And remember, we are expansion beings. So as long as you live, you have to expand and get to the next level of your greatness. Leave nothing on the table of life.
Yes. And guys, I would like to ask you one time if you would please share this video out, because you never know whose life that Mireille.
Mireille, yeah.
Mireille, darn it. I almost had it.
You got it at the beginning and then you forgot now. Mireille, that's
Yeah,
perfect.
Mireille. But you never know whose life Mireille or myself can affect, change, or even save. So go ahead and share this video out. invite people to watch this video and tell people why you enjoyed this episode. Tell people what your big takeaway was. And I appreciate it. So, guys, you have to do me one other favor this week. You have to have a great week. And I'll see you back here next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, unless you're Mireille, and then it's like 7
a.m. Yeah.
morning, and yeah, that's confusing. All right, thank you guys so much.